and welcome to Two Tired Teachers.
Today we want to talk to you about how did we get here?
We are boondocking, and we are in the Carson National Forest. Just show you our view here. And we are 1 mile north of Red River, New Mexico. And the last time we were here, we'll just tell you this, we paid $60 a night.
Or 70,
to be kind of slotted in, and
it was beautiful, but you had neighbors really close.
But anyway, we do have a guy back over.
You can't see him from here.
Yeah, he's probably about a quarter of a mile over there. Who knows where else other people? Who knows where other people may be? Anyway, so how did we get here?
We started out, when we started with an RV, we started out going to Texas State Parks, which are wonderful, by the way. Texas State Parks, we'd go to one park for 3, 4, 5 days and then come home.
And our first 3 trips.
Full hookups.
We had full hookups so that we would be able to empty our tanks in the privacy of our own campsite.
We were inexperienced and did not know it was easier to hitch if you back in. So we got pull-through sides, so it would be easy.
But what you're going to hear as a theme pretty much for our channel is know your comfort zone and try to camp within that.
Yes.
And consider what the other people you're traveling with are comfortable with.
And try to expand, but don't rush into when first week with the RV, well, I better go boondocking. We weren't ready. I wasn't.
Some people may be.
Sharon probably was.
Not quite, but we gradually then went from full hookups to water and electric that were back-in sites. And we...
our first one was Mission Tejas, I think. And I was scared to death for it. It was a long way to back it. Oh my gosh.
But anyway, we did that. We got comfortable with backing into those sites and doing that. And then we were going to Corps of Engineer Parks as well. And we found out that just at Texas State Parks, if it says electric, I think every one of them, you're getting water and electric. Well, we went to some Corps of Engineer Parks where it said electric, and
that doesn't mean water.
And so that was an excellent experience for us.
Yes,
because we're like, well, we have this fresh water holding tank, but we can't drink out of it because we haven't sanitized it.
Yeah.
But we could get the, fill some water in it, use it for dishes and showering, and then use gallon jugs to make tea, coffee, stuff like that. But that was the next step, is we got just electric sites. And that went on for years. I think it was 4 years before we actually tried our first, let's stay somewhere without any hookups. RVs, if your RV says self-contained, it's actually designed to do that.
Yes.
But we did, our very first one was Padre Island. Well, we stayed in one campsite on our way there without electric hookups.
We stayed in Choke Canyon
at Palmetto.
And Palmetto.
Palmetto, we didn't have electric hookups. But what I think really helped us to reach this point was we stayed in campsites without water and electric.
We stayed on the Natchez Trace, and that...
There were 3 campgrounds there that we stayed at. And then we stayed at Smokey Mountain, at Cades Cove, Smokey Mountains National Park. And we were in campsites, so we had picnic table, fire ring, those things, but we didn't have the water and electric. And so that was another step for us, and I think that was a good step.
I do too. And while the camping along the Natchez Trace was free, I think it was a good experience. We wanted to stay in Smoky Mountain National Park, and besides that, when you go east, dispersed is
not quite as much. And so really our first experience of just getting out there was when we were going to Utah. And
Actually, Badlands.
Badlands, we did do some dispersed there. That was true. That we did, and then we did some more dry campgrounds.
At a campsite, Custer State Park, and we wanted to stay there.
We did.
Because it was such a central hub for everything.
And then the other two campgrounds, one was free, the Roubaix, or however you say that, and then the Rooter, we just paid $10 a night for. They're near Devil's Tower.
Those were Forest Service camp.
Forest Service campgrounds. And so, but going to Utah,
that was where we really branched out, because we knew we were staying at the Badlands. We knew exactly where. We didn't know about
with the Utah trip, and on that video there in the description there is a link to kind of the spreadsheet that I did for that trip. But I had some campgrounds, like National Forest campgrounds, etc. But I also had just some dispersed. We had the places where we could. And I think the real breakthrough was we knew that going to Natural Bridges National Monument, we knew exactly where that dispersed was going to be, but it was an abandoned airstrip. So it wasn't like you're going out in the forest.
No.
But we knew that, and so that was a good experience. And you hear what we're saying. We have a good experience, and then we build on that.
Yes.
We have a good experience, and then we feel more comfortable taking that next step. And for us, that's been really important.
Yes, but particularly for me. I'm one to hold back. On our third trip, Sharon said, one of these days, I want a smaller RV where we can do some dry camping.
We'll have more options of things that we could do.
And I was taken back. I thought, well, no.
We just got this. And I didn't mean right then, but I needed some time to kind of process.
And I needed some time for her to plant that seed and let me watch some videos and go, that might be okay.
But when we were in Utah, we were actually at Canyonlands, Needles section. We were actually driving out to Hamburger Rock Campground. It was just I think a BLM campground.
Yeah, but it had picnic tables.
But it had picnic tables. It was a campground.
Toilet.
And as we're driving out, we're seeing RVs all along the road going, that's a great sight. Look how spread out they are. And so for the rest of the trip, we felt much more comfortable with that.
Yes.
And the trip we're on right now, we're not doing a video about where we are. Particularly, we're just escaping Texas heat. This won't be up until a lot later, but it's August, early August of 2021, and it's 100 degrees at home, and it's upper 70s here. So that's why we're here. But this trip, I had done some research, and I had a few.
She knew
places.
Basically where.
I knew where the mountains were going to be. And but where we are right now, I did not think they had dispersed camping in this section. The Forest Service roads for the other parts of the Carson National Forest had the road, and then they had little dots next to it to show you could do dispersed camping. And for this section, there was none of that. So as we were coming here, we stopped at a ranger station. Because of COVID, they're all still shut, but they had a phone number. So I'm standing outside talking to somebody inside on my phone. And just said, is there no dispersed camping? She said, sure there is. And she told me what road, the Forest Service name. We went past it. We went back. Finally pulled in one of the National Forest Service campgrounds.
And talked to the camp host.
Yeah, the camp host. He just got his phone out on Google and he said, well, here's the road. And I said, I know, but in town it has to have a different name. And he zoomed in and Mercantile? Mellette, yeah. Anyway, and so there was a place where we could park down there, get our bikes out.
And we're very glad we did. This road is fine. That we will have no trouble if we get rain getting down. But it was kind of rough coming up.
It's a good road. A lot of ATVers on this road.
Yeah.
It's a great road. Once you get up on the other roads, not so much. But anyway, we were able to come up, find this spot, and say, okay, we can do that.
This is good.
ATVers are going to come by during the day, but I think, about 5 o'clock they stopped.
Yeah.
I think the stores down there that rent them shut down. And so, anyway, our point is, if you're not ready to boondock, that's okay. Just watch us. We're having fun doing it. But it's not something that we were ready to jump into off the bat.
And not all of our camping will be boondocking. When we get back to Texas, we plan on taking several little trips to campgrounds.
Well,
because of places we like.
And on our way up here, we stopped at a spot we knew on our way to the New Mexico mountains, we needed hookups because we needed AC.
Yes.
And so our point is, this is how we got here.
Yes.
And this is, we're glad we took the time to do it because we got kind of spoiled to having this campsite to ourselves. RV resorts would have at least a dozen RVs in the site that we have. And parks, like, hey, I know, buddy. Like state parks, Corps of Engineer parks would have probably about 5 campers in here, and we've got this one to ourselves. Somebody else may join us, but that's okay. But the point is, if you're not boondocking, that's okay.
Maybe you will, and maybe you never will. That's fun too.
But anyway, that's how we've gotten here, and the things that have made it possible for us. Generator, we have some reviews about generators and more coming, and solar. And we're going to do a quick video here that's going to be uploaded around the same time about solar for part-timers. So if you're not ready to invest $20,000 into solar, which we certainly weren't, keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
Hope this has given you something to think about. Thanks for watching Two Tired Teachers.